So I made a video like this a couple weeks ago, and I set everything here to maxed out for regression of players in Madden 24. I set all these back to 0 for the XP sliders, and I made it so that these guys would regress as fast as humanly possible. But what you saw in that video is the players didn't really regress that quickly. And I kind of realized why. Now, on the surface level, in the game, you can't really make players regress that fast. Just not possible. But using a Madden franchise editor, you can actually make them regress at a faster rate. What you have to do is give them regression points. So there's two different things in Madden. There's progression points and there's regression points. Progression is just pretty much what you use to upgrade your players. Every game you play, if you go to the little player upgrade tab, it shows you like 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's how you upgrade your players. You can go from like an 80 overall all the way up to an 85, 86 overall. But there's also the polar opposite, because EA has to have the opposite tab in there as well. The opposite tab is regression points. So I could give every single player 10,000 progression points, and their teams would have pretty much endless upgrades available for their said players. But I don't like doing that. So I gave every single player in Madden 24 10,000 regression points, which means they're going the opposite. So we're going to see a true regression in this video. And I went through all the players right there to kind of show you the overalls for the first season before the 10,000 regression points kick in. Because once they kick in, that's when things are going to get a little shaky and things are going to go, you know, the polar opposite direction here. So starting off right away, you can see just going through 1 year here or going through 1 week here. Players really, some players are regression, some players are going up. It's not really doing much of anything. Now, what I realize is you don't really see a difference until the end of the season. To the start of next season, excuse me. So, this season, you don't really see much of a difference. I'm going to go through some of these weeks to kind of show you guys this. And it doesn't really change much of anything. But once you get to next season, well, that's when things start kicking off. So, let's go ahead and I'm going to progress here till next season. And actually, for the first season, I'll actually go through here just to look at like how everyone's doing. So I'm going to sim through the second season. I'll do a cut. But for this, I'm not going to do a cut just because I want to talk about, you know, how the season's going. So this is a typical season. Updated rosters, updated everything. Right now, the Kansas City Chiefs are, what, 3-3? They played the 49ers this game. No, 4-2. So they're having a pretty good season. And even with the 10,000 regression points, because it doesn't kick in really until the second season, they're progressing pretty fine. They have a good roster, a good team. Everyone in this division, surprisingly enough, AFC West usually is not like this. But everyone in the AFC West right now is actually doing a pretty good job of, you know, competing. I mean, the Panthers are 6-4. Wow. And you're going to see standings throughout this video. It's going to change drastically. But then we got 7-4, 7-4 against the Raiders and the Chiefs here. The Raiders go head-to-head in Kansas City. They lose. We have some injuries, which injuries I don't think impact regression as really that much at all. Again, not when you have 10,000 regression points. But, yeah, so now getting into this, go now almost in the playoffs here. We have the 4-10 Texans. I don't know why, but Madden absolutely hates the Texans. It always has the Texans doing so bad. Which is funny because in real life, the Texans are such a good team. And this is updated rosters with Stephon Diggs as well. So you would think Stephon Diggs would maybe help out the game a little bit. I don't know. You know, maybe I have too much faith in Madden at this point, but I will always think, you know, it's weird. Madden is definitely a weird video game when it comes to simulation. I don't know how they do their simulation factors, but it's always weird. All right, so now we got to the playoffs, right? And now that we're in the playoffs, we have the Chiefs win the division. Let's go to the roster here. We go to the roster, you can see, again, most of these players, they haven't regressed at all. You know, some of them have gone down a little bit in overall. Some of them have kind of plummeted a tad bit. But it's not really to a point that's, you know, questionable. And again, I promise you, we're going to get to the questionable tier in a second. But for right now, you know, it's okay. Some of these players have fallen off a tad bit. Looks like they're not progressing as fast. Some of the teams haven't been successful. That's another thing. If you win Super Bowls, you're going to progress very quickly. If you lose Super Bowls or you're just not successful, you're not going to progress in any way here, right? It's just how Madden works. You won't progress well if you're not successful as a team. So even if you get paid big boy money, they really don't care. Anyway, though, so it's going to be Ravens, Falcons, Super Bowl. And let's see who wins this Super Bowl. Survey says, let's see. I'm going to guess Ravens win it. That would be my guess right now. And the advancing to next week tab is taking forever for some reason. Okay, hopefully my franchise isn't broken. Alright, no, we're good. Alright, Falcons won. Alright, so let me skip forward, guys, to next year. Now kicking into next season, one thing you're going to see is these 10,000 regression points. Man, they hit badly. So starting off right away, you're like, wait, where's Patrick Mahomes? Well, Patrick Mahomes is a 13 overall. Trey Lance is a 39 overall. Somehow Tua is also on the Chiefs. That's kind of funny. But every single player in the NFL pretty much took a huge hit. Now, some players are still serviceable, like Patrick Surtain's a 79 overall. You also have Sauce Gardner, who's sitting at, 77 overall. But these quarterbacks especially, I'm not sure how, but this regression point thing really destroyed and demolished them. Now, here's the funny factor in all this. As you can see, a lot of these players, other than the make-believe players, the actual realistic players, a lot of them are really bad overalls, right? Which, again, the regression really hit them hard. But the whole league isn't really that good. Now, other than the make-believe players, most of the league sucks because of this regression point thing, which makes their overalls kind of not that horrendously bad. I know it's weird to say this, but it's the idea of, you know, if you play against NFL players, you're probably going to get absolutely demolished, you know, playing against NFL players, right? If you're just a regular average Joe against NFL players, you're going to get absolutely demolished. But if you play against your friends who are even competition to you, you might not look that bad. Even if you are bad at football and you don't know how to play football correctly, you're not going to look that bad against other guys that don't know how to play. So in a way, it's funny because these guys suck, but because everybody sucks, it's like nobody sucks, which is weird to say, but yeah. So anyway, though, let's take a look at standings. Now that all these guys are absolutely garbage, standing-wise, it's kind of what you would expect here. As we go through, I mean, it's not like anything crazy insane. I still don't know why the Chiefs picked up a couple of different quarterbacks there. Again, I'm setting everything to auto, so I'm not taking control of any of this. I'm just letting the system go as I just add those regression points. Now, I didn't add any more regression points after the first part of this video. So starting off, you know, all these players are going to start progressing back up. So what you will see as we go through some of these rosters is that these players are going to get better. So while, yes, at first, you know, they got that huge strike with the regression points, because of them still playing, and again, still playing some of them at a high level, they're just continuously getting better and progressing more and more and becoming more and more better. So in reality, technically, none of these guys are going to progress back up to where they were before. But some of these players, if I were to sim this, let's say 20, 30, not 20, 30 years, but maybe like 5, 10 more years in the future, they could, in theory, get back up to like 50s, 60s, maybe 70s overalls. And they could actually become pretty good players again. Because again, if the rest of the league sucks, well, they can still win certain awards and win certain things and actually be able to progress themselves. So it's kind of ironic that, again, the mentality of if everyone sucks, then do you really suck? Okay, this video is turning into me saying that sentence like 74 times. But anyway, though, let's see. So we got the Chargers and the Panthers in the Super Bowl, and we have Jaquan Brisker, who won MVP. Interesting. And also what you're seeing in this video is defensive MVP, MVP is won by players who aren't quarterbacks in this video. Because so many quarterbacks suck, they're not winning MVP awards, so other positions are able to do so. Now, again, you can see most players here are make-believe players. Another factor I do want to go ahead and talk about here, and this is something in Madden in general, not just in this video, it's the fact that I don't know why EA has it programmed where teams don't really want to make their quarterback situation better. And what I mean by that, and you've seen in this video and my last video as well, is that you have teams with like 60 overalls, 70 overalls quarterbacks, right? And they're freaking trash. And for some reason, the team, or I mean, not the team, well, that said team, won't go out there and draft a quarterback. Like the Chiefs right now have 313 overalls. And I'm now 3 years into this franchise, and not one time did the Chiefs draft a new quarterback. I kind of hope that is fixed in Madden 25, the next iteration of Madden. But it's something that's really frustrating when it comes to realism, is that if a team has 3 quarterbacks that suck and are in theory 13 overalls, they're going to draft a quarterback. Even if in theory they need other positions, at least they're going to draft one in the 4th or 5th round. And with how Chiefs having 3 quarterbacks at 13 overall, that's going to be good enough for them to be able to, actually start that guy, and he's going to be a startable piece in the NFL. It's just something, again, I wish EA would kind of fix about franchise mode and kind of, make better. But again, so far, this has been a problem now all year long. So I'm hoping they fix this, but it's just teams, like, they don't want to make their team better. They're like, oh, our team's fine. We're good. We don't need to progress or do anything. It's like, you kind of do. You kind of should make your team better and not accept the 13 overalls. But with that being said, guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'm not really shocked too much by this outcome when it comes to giving them regression points. I didn't think we were going to see them plummet to 12 overalls. I thought maybe it would be like an overtime type of situation, maybe over the first season, but no, that second season they plummeted. Which also makes me think, if I were to have given every single player way more than 10,000, what would have happened? Could we get every single player to 0? I feel like we probably could. And another thing, what if I gave it to all the rookies every year? We could, in theory, make the whole league a 0 overall. See, these are all factors that come to my brain when I sleep at night. If you're wondering how I think of these ideas for these videos, this is how I think of these ideas for this videos. Is when I'm sleeping, I'm like, what if we just make the league suck? What if we made the league absolutely trash? Well, that's, that's a factor. So guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions, man. We got the 49ers beating the Patriots, and that's a quite interesting situation, but I'm gonna let the video end off here with going through these, but I'm gonna be done talking right now because, like I said, it's kind of crazy. But I'll see you guys next one. Peace.